guess what? We've got some more great Wheel of Time interviews coming your way. This one is with Ceara Coveney and Donald Finn. Before I begin, I'm a huge fan of Wheel of Time. I know you guys are coming in to season 2, but I really love season 1, and they gave us the first 3 episodes of season 2 to watch. And yes, I am loving it all over again. But my first question for the both of you, of course, is what's it like coming in as newbies on this second season and jumping into the fold?
I mean, I couldn't have asked for a warmer welcome into this season. I think we're so blessed with how incredible the cast is. They're all so seasoned at what they do. So we were just welcomed with open arms, and they were incredible to work with. And it was really special for me playing Elaine, because at first she's making these new friends at the tower, and it was so lovely to kind of simultaneously be playing this new friendship between Egwene and Elaine, but also becoming friends with Madeline Madden behind the scenes as well. So it was really lovely, and she was incredibly supportive, and I couldn't have asked for a better person to be working with in those early days.
Donald, I have to say, it's always tough taking over a part, but watching you in the first few episodes of season 2, at least for me, it felt completely seamless, and I forgot that you were. So congratulations on that. But what was that like for you? What do you have to base it on the previous performance? Like, how does that work for you as an actor?
That's a good question. I knew that maybe basing it off of a previous performance is a hard thing to kind of investigate, because maybe that way of working would, in the best case scenario, would only bring the audience like a shadow of a shadow, if that makes sense, you know. And so I thought maybe by just interrogating the scripts that I had, and the all the scripts of season 1 as well, and what came before, and the books, that really then you can just mine the story for what is inherently Matt, like what is the qualities of him that come to the surface regardless of who is playing the part, you know. And I think those things I think that's character spirit, and I feel while that's there, then there's something truthful, and everything else is like an artistic kind of flair, or it's, you know, the difference is probably my spirit or whatever, you know. And that,
because of course you want to make it your own as well. Absolutely.
And I think, you know, anything else would be almost like an injustice, I guess, because there's something probably not truthful to trying to do it in the way someone else might, you know. And so, yeah, and I think we've plenty of examples of where people take over as well, and we can love the characters we love the character, and yet we love both those performances like in tandem, you know. I think that they can coexist.
Oh, fantastic. Ceara, I am saying your name correctly, am I not?
Yes,
Ceara.
you are. Ceara.
Fantastic. Okay, good. Ceara, you kind of made your Wheel of Time debut at Comic-Con, am I right?
Yes, yeah.
I'm always curious what that's like, because it feels like people are throwing you into the deep end.
Standing backstage, it honestly felt like you were queuing up for a roller coaster ride, like, because the sound, and you can hear the crowd, and you're like, what am I in for? But on reflection and in the moment, I couldn't have asked for a better way to be introduced, because it was just the most incredible, welcoming crowd. And there was an exclusive clip of Elaine played at the event, and hearing the reactions, and it was just such a special experience. And I was so grateful to kind of be welcomed there.
I've been one time to Comic-Con, and I think that's the most interesting thing about it, because at Comic-Con it feels like a much more loving environment than what you get on the internet.
Yeah.
It's the same fans, but they just seem a lot more welcoming when they're in the physical presence of people. So that's very nice. Tell me this, how difficult was it to get used to the lingo? I mean, there are all of these made up words. And as someone who's only actually read them on the page, I discovered I've been mispronouncing them my whole life. What was it like for you guys learning all this lingo in your dialogue?
I think we have a few resources that make it kind of seamless, really, for us. I think one of them is there's a great book by Harriet McDougall, which is just a plethora of all the Wheel of Time jargon and language and the way that they speak. That not only kind of dives into the definition, but also like the history, a context for everything that we come up against that might be in the scripts that is new to us. And then we have an amazing dialect coach. We worked with a lady called Naomi last year, who's phenomenal, and she nerded out on it. Like, she loved it. So she was a phenomenal resource to us when we knew that we were not only understood what we were saying, but we were saying it right as well, you know, and pronouncing it properly. And we have Sarah Nakamura as well, our book expert, who is a phenomenal person who helps us loads with getting the context and the grasp of the world of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. I mean, when I was thinking about adapting this, because for the longest time, much like The Lord of the Rings, people kind of thought of this thing as being unadaptable, right? It was just too big, 14, 15 volumes, too complex. Were you guys compelled to read the books beforehand, or did you feel that the scripts would give you a quicker insight into this world?
So for me personally, before I joined, I read The Eye of the World because I knew that was the first season.
Which isn't an easy book.
No, it's not an easy book, but there's a wealth of information in there that was just really helpful to kind of start placing this world. So I read that, but then for me personally, I love to read the scripts as my first impression, because adapting a book it's difficult, and you can't fit everything into these scripts. So I would read the scripts, and that would be my first impression, and then I would take myself to the books, and I would then kind of use the books as this encyclopedia, and so you kind of had all this backstory and all this description to all these moments in the script, so you could really kind of flesh out the character. This source material is an absolute blessing, because we have so much description, we have so much. We can see the inner thoughts of each character, so you can really use that and help to kind of really build upon the scenes that we have just on the page.
Yeah, similarly, I think that's a fantastic way of using the books in pretty much the same way that I do. I think I've been a fan of things that have been first a book and then adapted onto screen in a film or television, and there's a great kind of celebration of keeping the integrity, the spirit of the books when you see something on screen that is, it could be non-verbal, it could be silent, it could be a way that a character moves, or that, I think it speaks to the audience's kind of imaginative idea of what this show could be like, and it's a great excitement when I've felt as a fan to see something kind of represented as you've imagined in your head. And I think oftentimes it can be like the non-verbal stuff, it can be the spirit or the energy of a character, and that's where the books are really helpful as well. If there's a scene that is in the scripts that correlates to a moment in the books, then by using the books you can get a greater understanding of the flow of that day for the character or their intentions to the other character in the scene through reading what Robert Jordan has written in the kind of the stream of consciousness of the character, you know.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much. I'm all out of time, but you're absolutely right. It's those silent moments of fan service that we kind of pick up if you're a fan of the novels. The gait of a character, for example. Yeah, it's all there. And congratulations on the show. Here's to those 8 seasons, fingers crossed. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uma.
That was Ceara Coveney and Donal Finn talking about the 2nd season of The Wheel of Time, which you can watch on Prime Video. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Sound off in the comments. And thank you so much for watching.